Welcome to the invisible current. Together, we'll learn to understand the currents shaping our world. A private investigator receives a new case. A respected businessman has disappeared. No witnesses, no obvious motive. Before long, theories begin to spread. But let me ask you something. Is the first explanation usually the correct one, or simply the first one we hear? Justice doesn't begin by choosing a suspect. It begins by asking questions. What do we actually know? What are we merely assuming? Most people never notice this process, yet it quietly determines whether truth or error prevails. Justice is strengthened by honest questions. Every investigation starts the same way, not with certainty, but with evidence. Old records, business contracts, forgotten letters. Every clue either moves us closer to the truth or farther away from it. Here's a question. Would you rather reach the wrong conclusion quickly or the right conclusion slowly? Most people choose speed. Justice chooses accuracy. It works beneath the surface of every fair society. Rarely noticed, yet everything built upon it depends on it. Facts first, conclusions second. While the investigation continues, the rumors begin. One man says the businessman deserved it. Another insists he's innocent. Someone else blames an entirely different person. Notice something? None of them were there. Does confidence make a statement true? Does repeating a story make it evidence? Or does it simply make it more familiar? Suppose every verdict were based on rumors instead of evidence. Would you call that justice? Neither would I. The forces that shape a culture often begin in conversations like these. So the real question is, what can actually be demonstrated? Eventually, someone is arrested. The public breathes easier. Justice has been served. Or has it? An arrest is not justice. It is only an accusation. Imagine it were you being led away. Would you want people deciding your guilt by appearances or by evidence? History is filled with innocent people who looked guilty, and guilty people who looked innocent. The verdict everyone expects isn't always the verdict the evidence supports. Before a case ever reaches a courtroom, investigators compare what they've learned. Witnesses are interviewed, evidence is reviewed, assumptions are challenged. Let me ask you something. If two facts appear to contradict each other, should we ignore one or keep investigating? Justice doesn't force the evidence to fit a conclusion. It lets the evidence shape the conclusion. That's one of the quiet principles holding every fair society together. Truth isn't something we invent, it's something we discover. Eventually, the case arrives in court. Here, every claim is tested. Witnesses testify, evidence is examined, arguments are challenged. But here's the question. Should a verdict rest on emotion, public opinion, or what can actually be proven? Justice requires something stronger than suspicion. It demands evidence that can withstand scrutiny. Most people remember the verdict. Few appreciate the careful process that protects the innocent, while holding the guilty accountable. That process quietly safeguards the freedoms we often take for granted. The trial continues. Now the prosecutor questions a key witness. Every system of justice eventually arrives at this moment. Should testimony be accepted simply because it sounds convincing? Or should every claim be tested? Justice isn't committed to the first story told, it's committed to the truth. That's why witnesses are questioned. Evidence is challenged, and every claim is measured before a verdict is reached. The process may seem slow, but it quietly protects the innocent, while ensuring the guilty are held accountable. The case is closed. One mystery solved. Thousands remain. Most people think justice begins and ends in a courtroom, but justice reaches much further than that. It protects every honest agreement, every promise kept, every innocent life, every rightful consequence. Remove justice, and trust begins to disappear. Families weaken. Markets become uncertain. Freedom itself becomes fragile. Scripture reveals a God who is perfectly just and perfectly merciful. At the cross, justice was satisfied, so mercy could be freely offered. The effects of justice are visible all around us, even when the principle itself quietly works beneath the surface. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep understanding the current